Hey guys, it's Rav from The Everyday Investor, the hottest investment show in the world. That's right, I said it. I don't care who knows it. We are trying to grow our money. That's what this show is all about. Often we take our precious time, we go to work, we make money in order to eat. Going to work is a great blessing, but imagine a life where you could work a little less and money made you money, so you had that time to spend with family, friends, a purpose greater than yourself. That's what Everyday Investor Show is all about. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, whenever you're faced with any type of investment opportunity, you always want to ask 4 questions to start. Number 1, what's the return on investment? 2, when do I get that return along with the money that I put in? 3, what is the minimum investment amount needed? And 4, what is the risk, the worst case scenario? Super excited about this show. We're going to be talking about how we can make money investing in duplex conversions. We've got Jon and Amanda on the show just teaching us that very topic. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The plan is to hold on to them and just let those mortgages pay down and let the values go up and eventually gradually sell them off.
Hey guys, this is John Temmering from Blackjack Contracting. This week's tip is to invest behind the walls before you worry about the pretty stuff. The stuff that goes behind your walls, your plumbing, your electrical, your HVAC, your insulation, stuff like that. Stuff that's not pretty and is the boring part is actually the most expensive part of the project, especially if you skip it in the beginning. If you go and finish and make this pretty basement and then it falls apart because you got bad wiring or plumbing, it's going to cost a hell of a lot more to fix it later. If you have to make a decision between a new electrical panel and quartz countertops, you need to take the decision with the electrical panel. It's a lot cheaper to replace a countertop 2 years from now and put quartz in than it is to rewire your house at $10,000 plus, stuff like that. So that's this week's tips. If you have any questions, please reach out to me.
The mortgage world has changed. Has your advice? Are you looking for a modern approach to your mortgage planning process? Advice tailored to your unique, ever-changing circumstances? Whether you're upsizing, downsizing, purchasing, or refinancing, the Kyle Ford Mortgage team works with individuals and companies to custom tailor the right mortgage product for you. Working with a wide selection of lenders, we're here to serve our clients and help them achieve their real estate and retirement goals. Contact the Kyle Ford Mortgage team today, Canada's mortgage choice.
Omar Khan here, guys, with a weekly market update. Now, the markets have not done too well to start the year, and that is because markets do not like uncertainty. Many uncertain things going on right now. War in Ukraine, terrible. You've got inflation. You notice higher prices at the gas pump, at the grocery store, etc. Not good. That leads to higher interest rates. Higher interest rates would lead to a slowing of the economy, thus lowering inflation. Now, ultimately, the reason the markets don't like that is because that is expected to lower corporate earnings. And ultimately, stocks are valued, or companies are valued based upon the amount of money they make or don't make. So we're going to keep an eye on all this stuff. Generally speaking, the market is a leading indicator. It's leading 12 months in advance. It's pricing in today what it expects to happen in 12 months from now. So if these things are not as bad as perhaps as the market seems, maybe if interest rates don't rise as much or inflation is not as bad, or if this war ends sooner rather than later, this could all be positive for the market. Let's see how it plays out. But over to you. We'll see you guys next week.
Hey guys, it's Rav. Welcome back. Today we're talking about how we can make money investing in duplex conversions. We have Jon and Amanda with us. Guys, thanks so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having us, Rav.
Having us.
Yes, and I love that last name, Eagle. I love your hairstyle, Jon. See, we're all good.
Takes me an hour every morning.
That's right. And of course, you look even better with Amanda on your side. We want to talk about this very niche aspect of investing, which is, duplex conversions. So by the very fact that when we talked, you said conversions, you're not buying these turnkeys, you're buying single family homes and putting an additional suite on them. Yeah? That's right.
Yeah.
And so tell us a little bit about your background. Like, how did you get started? How did you land here? What's it like now in the spring market of 2022? Let's take it way back. How long have you been doing this and how did you get started?
All right. Well, we started back in 2017 when we decided that we wanted to have a very comfortable retirement when we retire at 65. And so we thought we'd buy a couple of properties early on, let them go for 25, 30 years. They're going to be worth more money and we'll be able to have a nice retirement. And then we kind of delved into the Canadian real estate investing world and met people and learned new things and realized that, no, work until 65 is not really an option for us, nor do we need to do that, and decided to expand. So back in 2017, we bought 2 small condos, one in Kitchener and one in Waterloo. And, it kind of just snowballed from there as we learned more. And we decided to get into the niche of duplex conversions. Ended up selling one of our condos, which was an underperformer, and kind of used the proceeds to get into our first duplex, which was at the beginning of 2020, right as we came into the pandemic. So, and fast forward to today, we actually have 4 duplex conversions complete, and it all kind of happened right here in the pandemic, and we made good use of our time and resources while we were in lockdown.
And so tell me about this relationship, the 2 people that I'm looking at. Were you both on the same page? Did one say, hey, let's keep this? Because when you say underperforming, it was still making money, but it wasn't making the money that you perhaps could make in duplexes. But right. Did you both want to sell it? Did you talk a little bit about the dynamic? Rarely do I have 2 people on the show at the same time. And so since we are, I want to talk about how important it is to be able to be on the same page. Let me get the truthful answer. So I'll ask you, Amanda, how's it been?
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, Jon and I, we've known each other since we were 14, and we were dating since we were 16. So our kind of life has aligned very easily. And we've been on the same page for a very long time, which has helped. When it came to that condo, I think it was a no-brainer. We kind of didn't really understand when we were first getting into investing about cash flow and the importance of it. So we were actually putting money each month into that property. It wasn't like positive cash flow. So I think once we realized what duplex conversions could do for us, cash flow, but also just mitigating the risk, having additional tenants, it just seemed like a no-brainer, and we were both on the same page. So.
And do you guys still have the other condo?
We do still have the one in Waterloo. Yeah, it's going really well. Our tenants are great. So we just figure, values are going up. We are cash flowing on that one. So we'll keep it.
Yeah, great stuff. So are you, is the intention to keep doing duplex conversions, and are you holding them, or are you flipping some of them to other investors?
So far, we've held them all. One of them is with a joint venture partner. The other 3 are on our own. But the plan is to hold on to them and just let those mortgages pay down and let the values go up, and eventually gradually sell them off and put the profits into a more active, I guess I should say more passive monthly income earning investment rather than duplex, because duplexes don't cash flow a ton, and that's not why we're in it. But these are going to make pretty good money over time, so we're holding on to them. And the plan is to continue to do them if possible. But we're, as you mentioned earlier, we're in the spring 2022 market, and things are absolutely insane. Mm-hmm. So we put a pause on looking for duplex conversion properties on market, but are actively looking for different types of properties off market. So
have you been able to acquire properties off market already?
Yes. Yeah. We just
bought one.
We just picked one up off market, our first one. So we dabbled a little bit in finding off market properties before. We tried a whole bunch of different strategies. There's a few high cost strategies, and there's a few low cost strategies that take a little bit more time and energy and effort. And so what we doubled down on was the driving for dollars strategy. And essentially, we get in the car, we drive around for a few hours, we make note of a bunch of addresses that we think look maybe like the house is, under distress. Maybe there's the people there are looking to make a change in their life, and they know that selling their property on market is going to be a little more difficult and stressful. So we write them down, and we first and foremost, Amanda will look up all of the addresses on Canada 411 and see who's got landline phone numbers that are listed. And then she passes that list on to me, and I start making phone calls. And for the ones that don't have phone numbers, we send a letter to, but we don't do any big mail campaigns or anything. And the property we recently picked up was from a phone call from doing that. So it worked out.
That's fantastic. No, I love that. And so are you looking for, so when we're doing duplexes, are we doing up and down, side by side? What are we looking at?
Yeah, we do up and down. We aim for 3 bedrooms up and 2 bedrooms in the basement at least. There's a couple that we did that we were able to fit 3 bedrooms in the basement. But yeah, we're looking for up and down for the bungalow. Like usually a bungalow is what we buy.
Bungalow, raised bungalow, or just a traditional bungalow?
No, we haven't. All of ours have just been just a standard bungalow.
Okay. And are they all in a certain area?
All in Kitchener. Yeah, a couple are right around the corner from one of them.
3 out of the 4 are in the same neighborhood of Kitchener, and one of them's 10 minutes away from there, but they're all around the same area. And
so do you have to work, talk a little bit about with the municipality, do you have to send them a bottle of wine every, at Christmas, or how are you doing that? Or do you just do your thing, and where you need permits, and obviously there's different rules in different jurisdictions, right? Ceiling height, windows, separate entrance, all that kind of stuff. So talk to the viewers a little bit about that.
If a bottle of wine is all it took, man, let me tell you. So we do work directly with the city of Kitchener. All of our duplex conversions are legal. So we get permits at the very beginning. And one of the great things about Kitchener is we can obtain a permit before we own the property. So as soon as we have it under contract, we can actually get a designer in there to do the drawings, and the designer helps us submit the application to the city. And in good times, it's a 10-day waiting period. It took us, I think, about 3 weeks the last time to get it, but we pretty much always have our permits by the time we close. So on day 1, we get in and start doing demo. But yes, ceiling height, windows, all sorts, like fire separation, all sorts of different things are a big deal to the city. And, we've gotten to know pretty well what they require. And some inspectors are a little bit more lenient than others, but for the most part, they do a good job at keeping it safe.
The city of Kitchener is great to deal with. You can even go on before you even buy the property and check the zoning and make sure that it meets the requirements and contact the city. They're pretty quick at getting back to you. That's why we've kind of focused on that area, because they're
a little easier to deal with.
Well,
relationships are important. I mean, I really appreciate you guys sharing that. I mean, driving around, finding a property, Canada 411, making the phone call, relationship with the city. That's active real estate investing. And many people ask me, Rav, how come you don't invest actively? Well, this is the reason for me. For me, I just, there was a time when I did it, and I'm a little bit older than you guys. And like you said, you may switch over to passive investing later on as well. So there's no right or wrong. I really appreciate your hustle and really sharing with people. As when we come back from a break, we'll look at some numbers. You achieve these numbers because you're willing to put some perspiration into this. And once you know what you're doing, then it's kind of like the process is turnkey, if you will.
Yes.
I mean, it's probably not the best terminology, but you know what I mean, right? You know what you're doing. It's just A, B, C, D, and on to the next one. So really appreciate that. You mentioned right off the get-go education. I mean, obviously education is very important. Your goal was to buy a couple of condos, and nothing wrong with that. But then you talked about being educated and wanting more. What kind of groups were you with? Were they meetups? Were they with, some forums? How did you work that out?
A lot of it was during the pandemic, so there weren't a lot of or any meetups at the beginning. So for us, we did a lot of networking, having Zoom calls or phone calls with other investors. Instagram has been really big for us, connecting with other people. Our realtor.
That's great.
Yeah. And I think the first thing that happened after we bought those first couple of properties that really switched on that light bulb, if you will, is a Scott McGilvery free event at a hotel near our house. And I was just one of those Keyspire 2-hour events. And we sat through that and listened to him talk and realized that we were really into the no debt thing at that time. And we realized that debt can work really hard for us. And so as long as it's done right. And so we started really diving into that. And that's when we realized that, we don't have to work another 30, 35 years to be comfortable. We can retire from that daily grind, become active investors, passive investors, and not go to work every day and hustle making someone else rich. And that was the first thing that we experienced that really changed our mindset.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, Scott's a friend, and people don't know. Well, that's what he did. He called them income properties, but a basement apartment, right? And his first one, he lived in for 8 to 9 years. I don't know if he shared that on live on stage, but for his very first one, he lived in the basement for 8 to 9 years and rented out the top. So, no, it's really great. I'm inspired by your tenacity and hard work, and it's paying off. Thanks so much for being on the show. We're talking to Jon and Amanda. We're going to look at some numbers on how we can make money in the duplex conversion. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Today, I want to talk about payment frequency. So many people think a mortgage is a mortgage is a mortgage, but there are so many considerations when it comes to customizing the right solution to you. For example, you can pay weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. What's the best option? For many people, they choose to pay weekly or bi-weekly because it accelerates the amortization and it's like a forced savings plan. It's making them put the money on the mortgage. Now, another consideration to make here, and what I recommend for many investors, is a monthly payment. The reason why a monthly payment is effective is it holds cash back in the event of emergency, as well as it gives you the ability to make lump sum prepayment privilege. So these are the ability to pay lump sum with everything going towards principal. When it comes to this, there's no right or wrong answer, but getting the right advice is the most important thing. Reach out to myself and the Kyle Ford Mortgage team for any questions on this.
You've always dreamed of having rental income, but buying a rental property? Well, that's a tall order. Capitalize on the space in your home instead. Renovate and rent out that space with ease with LegalSecondSuites.com and the team at Wise Construction Group. With LegalSecondSuites.com, our talented team of BCIN designers, engineers, carpenters, and tradespeople can transform that unused space into a beautiful, legal, and safe rental unit. We're empowering the everyday homeowner to become an extraordinary landlord. Get more out of your home. Visit LegalSecondSuites.com for more information.
If you're looking to raise more capital, do bigger deals, and scale your portfolio, the Multifamily Conference is for you. The Multifamily Conference is live and in person May 14th and 15th in Toronto. Put yourself in the room with multifamily investors from across North America to network, learn, and have fun. Tickets are on sale now at multifamilyconference.ca. Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary will be sharing his capital raising secrets. Joe Fairless, who controls almost $2 billion of multifamily assets, will be breaking down his scaling framework. And our other top speakers cover every single aspect of the multifamily business, including underwriting, financing, management, deal flow, structuring, and much, much more. Get back out there. Face-to-face networking is back. Reserve your seat now at multifamilyconference.ca.
Hey, it's Rav. Welcome back to Everyday Investor. We're talking to Jon and Amanda. We're learning how we can make money with duplex conversions. Guys, thanks so much for being on the show. Let's look at one of your recent deals that you just did. Where was the purchase in this? I guess this is the one. Four of them are in Kitchener, and one is where?
They're all in Kitchener.
Oh, they're all in Kitchener. Okay, great. And so this purchase price was what?
$600,000.
Okay, so $600K we bought this for, and you're investors, so I'm assuming 20% you had to put down, or?
Correct, yep.
20%? So our down payment is $120K?
120, yeah.
Okay, then what?
Then we had about $10,000 to $12,000 in closing costs, including land transfer tax and legal fees. Say $12,000.
12? Let's say 10. It's easier for my slow brain. I'm a little slower than you. Okay, so 10K, and then obviously you're taking a single bungalow and turning it into an up and down. So we get 2 rents for one furnace. That's going to cost some money. So how much was your renos on this?
Renovations came to about 200,000 on this.
200,000. Okay. Any other significant costs? No? Okay, so this is 0, 3, 3. All right, so you're into this deal for, I'm sure, being shrewd people as you are, and you've already mentioned joint ventures. This 330 is probably not all your own money, but let's just pretend it was. So you're in this deal for 330K let's call that the investment.
Yes.
All right. Now teach us how we made money on this. So $200,000 or $220,000, whatever the reno cost was, that's not chump change. I mean, you guys are doing some significant work here. Amanda, you said usually a 2-bedroom, sometimes you can squeeze in a third?
Yeah, in the basement, and then upstairs 3 bedrooms as well. And we do like really nice renovations, like we make sure that they're like very nice kitchens, stainless steel appliances, laundry in both units. So like they're very nice.
And now that you've done multiple, I mean, are we sourcing out the same, appliances and bedroom, all that kind of stuff? Yeah.
All our duplexes look the same.
Nice, like it. Okay, so how are we making money? Obviously, it's going up in value. Someone's paying down your mortgage, and you're getting some cash flow. What are you using percentage-wise in that area for the market to go up?
We're using 5%. That's a conservative number for us in the kind of climate that we've been in. So we always do things around the 5% mark. We run our numbers at that just to be safe.
Okay. So what would that be then?
Yeah. So $43,750.
Okay.
5%.
Let me just say 45K. So each year, using 5% on that property, it's going up about $45,000. Obviously, we're looking at the new value of this, which, I won't reveal quite yet, but that's $45,000. And then someone's you've got 2 tenants paying down your mortgage. So what's the annual mortgage pay down?
Annual mortgage pay down is right around $20,000.
$20,000. And are you guys, so how does this work? I mean, because you have tenants there and you guys are in for the long term. Are we variable? Are we locked in for 5 years? How do you sleep at night with this?
We don't sleep. No, I'm just kidding. We typically as investors always go into variable. And it's not because we think it's always going to be the better way, although historically it pretty much has been, but because as investors, we're always potentially pivoting. And if a property has to be sold and we're in a fixed rate mortgage, the penalties are substantially higher. So we weigh the pros and the cons, but we look at it and say, with rate increases, we could end up paying more. But if we ever need to sell in the next 5 years, we don't want to be stuck with a big penalty. And we decide to go that route most of the time.
Very smart. I mean, when it went, I think it was last year or the year before, I think I had a mortgage for 2.2 or something like that. And I just said, it can't go down anymore. For the first time in my life, I mean, I'm 50. Our first property with my mom was when I was 16. Right? So that's a long time. Always variable. And I locked in at 2.2% or something. And then I could get a mortgage at 1.5. So I actually paid $25,000. Yes, yours truly, the guy who's supposed to be teaching real estate investing. I paid $25,000 because the numbers just made sense. Because I wanted to pull a bunch of money, because obviously prices increased significantly as well over the last year or so. So I paid $25,000 to break my mortgage, but that's what the numbers dictated. So I would agree, never again will I personally lock in. I like the variable as well, but I tell people whatever allows them to sleep at night, right? This is about financial peace more than it is about financial freedom, right? We've got to be able to live that way. Okay, so cash flow, this thing's spitting out some money, unlike your first condo there. How much are we making a year in cash flow?
About 10K.
About 10K. Okay, so about $800 a month. That's great.
Yep.
Okay, so here's the 3 ways we're making money. Obviously, we're making it because of the big lift. We bought for 600, and let me just ask you right now, what's it worth when you were done? It was 600,000, now it's worth?
875 is what it was appraised for. Obviously on the open market right now, it would be a lot more than that, but that's what we got it appraised for.
Yeah, that's nice. Little trip to Florida with that money, or Turks and Caicos, and you take your whole neighborhood with you. No, that's fantastic. Okay, so here's how we make money here. 75K between how much it naturally appreciates, how much the mortgage was paid down, some cash flow. So whenever you're trying to figure out your return on investment, you take your profit, you divide it by what you're in for, the investment amount. So guys, if you have a calculator there, what is 75,000 divided by the 330K?
23%, Rav.
23%. So you guys are making a 23% annualized return on investment, a little bit more than what GIC would make you.
Just a little.
But just a little bit, yes. Maybe if I just cover the 3, you know what I mean? Or the 2. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. No, 23%. But it's not 23% because you guys refinance this. You pull out all the money, so as much as you can. So how much money did you pull out of this deal? Like, if it was 875, or here's a better question, how much are you in for right now? Were you able to take everything out, or did you have some left in there?
Yeah, there's some left. A perfect burr in this area is very difficult. We pulled out 220K. So the original first mortgage on this property was for 480, and the new one, based on the 875 at 80% of that, is 700. So that's our new mortgage.
700. So you're in the deal for
110.
$110,000. Okay, so you're in the deal. You have $100,000 in the deal, but you're making $75,000 a year. So that's a pretty good ROI. Even if you didn't pull money out, just because you sleep at night with having more equity in it, you're making over 20%.
That's right.
That's fantastic, guys. Really, I mean, this is really the reason why we do the show. As awesome as you are, we're just everyday people that learn, put into practice what we're learning, and we can make returns like that. So what is next for you guys? You're going to continue to look off market. You're going to drive around until things loosen up a bit. But what's next?
Yeah, I think for us, we're going to keep putting in the efforts to find those off-market deals, and we're going to focus on our next property that closes in May. So we're excited for that, and then anything else that comes our way. And
out of curiosity, are you finding that you're getting better deals off-market as opposed to if they're on the MLS?
Yeah, so that is the main purpose of doing that. If we find somebody that's off market, that's interested in selling, but they're looking for market value, it doesn't work. In this market, a duplex conversion and or a flip doesn't work at market prices. You can't make those work in this market. So I drove around and we went through our process of trying to find a deal. We actually found one in Stratford. An old house, hasn't had anything done to it, and the family is moving out east, and the place is a mess. So we got it well below market value, and with the way the market's going right now, we stand to make a really, really nice profit on that. And it was about 2 to 3 hours of work to find that deal. It doesn't always come that easy, but you put in some time and it's a little bit of energy, and you can find a good deal. And if you're finding someone who understands why selling off market is easier and less stressful depending on their situation, they understand why you can't pay market value for it.
Listen, time flies when we're having fun. As you've been nurtured, I'm sure you're willing to nurture people. Your information's on the screen there. You're okay if people give you a call to pick your brain a little bit?
We welcome it, yes.
Yeah.
Well, guys, listen, thank you so much for being on the show. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Rav.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for watching. Without you, we would not have a show to go through these numbers again or to watch any of our episodes. You can watch them on demand by going to our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. Until then, we'll see you next week. Same place, same time. Honey, love you. I'll be home soon. Bye, everyone.